Live.
好，开播了。
All right, guys. Hello. Can you guys hear us?
Hey guys,
还在放
I'm
广告。
experiencing some delay now.
Was
So,
about the time someone to took something?
My screen is not moving, so if you guys see anything, hear anything, let us know.
All right, it's pretty good. I can hear myself now.
Everything good?
Sweet.
Oh, PH is here. Amazing sleeping.
I'm hearing some like really awesome BPM. Like who is playing the BPM right now?
That is me. Okay.
Is that your music?
So welcome, guys. Welcome, guys.
Shut
So
the
we have
BGM.
89 people. We should turn it off, or what do you think?
Yeah, I can't hear anything. It's just your BGM.
Oh, you cannot hear anything. All right, let's turn it off for now. Okay.
Or keep it like really.
All we have people from all different parts of the world. All right, guys.
I think we're good.
So
All right,
we're good.
sweet.
Okay, let's do. What's the topic today? Okay, so what's the topic? So how about let's start with a introduction about yourself. So my name is Jason. So I guess some of you guys probably know me already. So my job in SansMinds is usually just demonstrate a magic and tricks on the street with the real people. That's basically what I do. And we also have Will, which is our superstar with us today. So let's welcome Will. There's a big fan of Lee here.
Well, I'm like it's my first time doing it. I don't know if I'm doing anything. Hey, I'm hearing all overlapping voices. Am I doing something wrong here?
You need to mute the YouTube because you're watching YouTube.
Ah.
You need to mute the YouTube.
All right. So how's that? Does that work?
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds well.
Oh, Jordan Victoria is here.
Hey,
Wow,
so we
friends
are.
back here.
This is the first time we're hosting a kind of like a online meeting, conference, however you call it, with everybody. And the whole point is that everybody is quarantining at home, and we wanted to know how everybody's doing. Stay warm, stay safe. So what's up? What's up from the world? We're all here to, just to hang out.
I think how's everyone's quarantine going?
I mean, like that's a bad question.
I just finished my 14 days and everything's closed. Okay, so that's 14 more days to go.
So, okay, right now, what's making sense on my screen is the one that we have, which has no delay. The one that I'm viewing from YouTube, it's like a video delay.
So you saw one on your screen.
Hi, Kingston. Hi, Kavo. Yeah, thanks for watching the show with Jay Chow.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi, Silas. Hi, Sebastian. Hey, Phoenix. Oh my God. How's your eyes? How's everything? Hi, Mark. Hi, Diesel. So I guess some of like Z is so into like chatting with the text box, and we're just gonna hang out here.
See, you can just
So
talk.
now-
Everyone can hear you.
Well, there's delays. Yes.
Okay, so
Okay, here's a question about Ju Honey.
All right, so let's.
Hey, hey. Yes, Jason, please. I'll leave it to you.
Okay, how about let's start with some questions from our fans. So before this handout, we actually collect all the questions from some of you guys. So first question is how to pick the right material for yourself. How to perform classic tricks with modern effects. What do you guys think, Zian? Well,
How to perform modern effect?
how to
I think this is
pick
great.
the right material for yourself. So that's the first question. How to pick the right material for yourself? Because
This is
there
a
are
big.
so many
This is a,
materials on the market. Yeah.
right, right. This is a big topic, and I just wanted to start off by saying this is in nowhere like a lecture, but it's a hangout, so we're all free to speak our mind, and everybody's has a different style and everything. And I think learning magic, the whole process is about learning how to be oneself. Like you kind of learn to be yourself and discover how who you really are. Uh, it's like any art form. People do music, people do painting, people do magic. It's the same thing. Like it's just a tool for an artist to express. And the more you do it, the more you learn about yourself. So I guess the answer to how to pick the right material for yourself is know yourself. What kind of things would like it makes you happy, and as well as how do other people perceive you as a person, and that's how um, I mean, like, there's always two sides of things. First, whatever that makes you happy. Second, whatever you get the most reaction from when you perform. And I think it's like it's not always the case that two ends are the same thing. No, they're not. But there is a fine balance between there is a place where the two qualities meet, and that's what you want to find out. So first, play with whatever a lot of materials until you find what you like to play with, and then ask a lot of good friends around with like ask for their honest opinion on how they think how they believe you carry yourself, because sometimes what you believe does not always reflect on how people perceive it. So understand who you are, how people perceive you, and then just try the material presenting with the kind of character that you want to go with, or the person you want to become as a performer. And in time, you'll find that sweet spot when you're doing the material that you like, and then you believe can express what you want to express. At the same time, it's when people perceive you as who you really are the most. I guess that gets a little bit philosophical, but that's my answer to it. Hi, Maxine.
All right.
So our host is gone. I'm just reading a lot of questions here right now. So, Jason, feel free to pop back anytime. That was my answer for the
All right.
first question. And
All right, that
see
sounds
if you guys
good.
want to
Yeah.
chime in.
Mm-hmm. And also in the later section for this handout, we're gonna give all you guys the opportunity to ask whatever you guys want. So we're gonna go through all the questions first. All right. Let's move to next question. That would be creating the tricks and what happens with us people who don't have so many opportunities to be in touch with the magic. What happens to people who don't have so many opportunities to be in touch with
When you
magic?
say to be in touch, what do you mean by in touch with magic? That sounds a little bit interesting.
Right. Creating what happens.
I guess what they're asking is how to create magic if they don't have as much resources to
Right.
to the knowledge. I think that's the
Exactly.
question.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. I think like right now is the time that we have access to almost everything on the internet. Like now is the time. Back in my
Right.
days, when I first started magic, there was no YouTube, there was no Google. and libraries suck. So it was really when, like now when I think about it, I'm very grateful because those are my opportunities to be creative myself and make up my own stuff because I just simply didn't have any resources to so-called information. Right now, a lot of you already have the opportunity of what we didn't have back then, that you know a lot more about magic than we started when we started magic. So I think it's like, because I think people get lazy, and like I am also like caught in guilt of it because like the more information you have, the less you know about what to do because you don't know what to focus on, and you get distracted. So I think it goes back to the first question. Now, if you really try to be creative, creativity is like muscles. It's the only thing that I believe the more you use, the more you will have. So just focus on what you want to achieve, what you want to try. And now, if you have never created anything before, it's also good to start from. Say you bought three things off the market. You got three favorite tricks, and you find the common ground between the three tricks, so you can make them into a routine. For example, like in the routine, there's always the opener and an ending and something between. So if you can find a presentation to carry you through three things, it becomes a small routine. And now if you have three routines, it becomes a small show. So it depends on what your goal is and how you're aiming to what you're aiming to achieve. But just be creative. And I know it's a very vague thing to say, but just try to put together the routines first, and then you can twist the presentation to make it more you, and you can when the time is right, when you play with enough material, you will end up being able to so-called, I don't want to say modify, but make new endings to certain things, or make new parts of the trick, and eventually you'll be making new routines. Like Jason, when we first met, it was many years ago. He was competing in a competition, and I so happened to be the judge. Jason, many did not know that he's an amazing stage magician, hilarious on stage. And then back at the time, he considered himself as a performer only, so he did not create. He didn't know how to put things together. I remember the first question he asked me was so stupid. He was like, "So what? How do I learn all the methods so I can start creating?" And I remember my answer at the time was, there was no method. So start to create, because in magic, however that we make things happen or appear to be, it is the method. There should be no restriction, no limit. And Jason is now a master creator. He creates amazing stuff every fucking day. Excuse my language. It's not supposed to be caught on camera, but, but he's great. So, like I said, like creativity over the years, I personally sat down and explain my system to my system, or my the system that I developed over the years to create, which I put in a project called Design Magic. Many years ago, Jason was the first to fully explain and explore the system to him, and then following that formula that I learned from my own mistakes, it's like bodybuilding. You need to know how to train your bicep, how to all that, and then just be consistent, putting the work, putting the hours, and in no time, you'll be very good at it's like breathing, drinking water. It's just very easy over time.
Right, that's amazing answer. So reading from all the, so if you guys keep in touch with us, maybe in the future, gonna maybe if Will want to, he probably gonna release his system for how to create magic. So please stay tuned with us, sign in with us, and just keep in touch with us. So reading from all the questions from the chat, some people want to see some tricks. So in the later section, we actually have some sneak peek of our future products, some very interesting, very unique, very powerful
What,
items we're
really?
gonna
We have that?
share with you.
Really?
Yeah,
We're gonna do reveals? That's fun. I didn't know that.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. Also, some people want to have some recommendations about magic books. And I know when I first started doing magic, I don't know where to start. So I always rely on books. And so what do you think what will be a good magic book for those beginners to begin with?
I don't have any book recommendations for Magic, but I do recommend what is the book called? Maximum Entertainment, because I think like for a few dollars, everybody can buy a trick or two to perform, and how how strong of a reaction you get is depending on personal knowledge, how much work you're putting on making it entertaining. So I think if there's a book that I would recommend, it will be Maximum Entertainment. In the book, it focuses on like how to find the entertaining like elements in your act or your routine or your trick, and I think that's more important than the secret to a magic trick itself.
Right. And also some people is very interested in what is your favorite trick?
My favorite trick over
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, what is your favorite?
As what do you mean? Like my
Uh,
own
Could be
my
anything like,
trick or
yeah, what do you think? Like anything. What's
okay.
your favorite
So
trick?
my one favorite trick is the rose act. Not my rose act, but the rose act from Taylor.
The
Because I
rose
love,
saxophone Teller.
yes, I don't know the official name of it, but it's at the end, you know, like how Taylor, you know, cuts a shadow and the petals fall of a flower, and then at the end, he painted the canvas with like blood or whatever that is. It's just very poetic. It speaks to me. It's about life. And if any of you have seen my coin act with the rose, which I call Rose Act, it also talks about values, the pursuit of values in life, and then how at the end it's life that matters. Like this kind of thing really triggers me, really inspires me. So if I were to vote for one single act that I like the most, it would be Taylor's Rose Act.
Yeah, I agree. That is an incredible routine. And I think one of the most requested questions from the fans is because we know the coronavirus is happening right now all over the world, and many different industries are like affected by this virus. And a lot of people are wondering, what do you think the entertainment industry will happen after this virus thing? So, what do you think is going to happen
Uh,
in the future? Is there going to be a boom, or is it going to be less people performing, less magic shows, or be more magic shows? What do you think?
I think for any given time, there are people rising and there are people falling. But after the whole virus situation, for sure, there will be more opportunities for entertainment business to come out because people need that laughter, they need that happiness, and then you know everybody is just being like trapped at home for too long, and they want to go out, have fun, enjoy life, and so yeah, I think definitely that's going to be. I don't want to say it's good for magic. In no way is this virus thing good or beneficial in any way. But you know, for a short amount of time, there will be opportunities for entertainers to you know like explore.
Right, that's awesome. And also here, extension from that question. So, because now people are more aware of the healthy issues, so maybe when we performing with a spectator, maybe we don't want to touch them. Maybe they don't want to be touched by the magician. So, what kind of effects can we do, like for situations when you have to perform but you cannot touch the audience? But yeah, how do we do the interactions
I mean,
when
it's a
there's
weird
no touch?
question because
Yeah.
in a performance, you almost never touch people unless you're doing a pickpocket act. If you're talking
Right.
about like you
Right.
know handing people a card for them to put in their mouth, this is probably not the right time. But if you're
Right.
handing a card for people to hold on to, I don't think people will be, you know, uh, going against the idea. But if they do, it'll also be very nice if you have like a dry, like alcohol, like those alcohol spray, like for people
Yeah,
to
wash
kind
your
of
hands.
sanitize. Yeah, like dry wash or something. At this sensitive time, I think it's a very neat idea, like with a small bottle, and then before you perform, like, even if you don't perform, it's kind of nice to spray like on people's hands for them to sanitize. Because the other day when I was walking on the street, somebody came out to me and then like, can I borrow your hand? And so he sprayed all those alcohol to my hands so I can sanitize myself. And I actually felt very like it was very a nice gesture. So I walked into this person's shop and I bought quite a few things just to support him. So I think that's a very neat and nice gesture for any entertainer or human being to do.
Right. And for myself, if I have to perform, you can do this in the real time, or you can perform this over the video as well. The best effect to perform is actually the invisible deck, because now you can just say, I have invisible deck in my hand. Now you can hand the invisible deck to your audience. Now they can, it feels like interactions, and you guys are not really touching. So you can do the invisible shuffle, you can do all the jokes, and you can pick the invisible deck from the audience and put it inside your pocket, take out the real deck of cards and start continue from there. So you guys can try the invisible deck, the great trick to perform in the coronavirus time. Right. So yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I've always loved the invisible deck thing. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, and yeah. All right. So let's move to the next question. So some people might be interested to be a member for in our company. Any suggestions? How
Any
to be a
suggestions?
member of SansMinds? Yeah.
Be good. I know everybody is good, but it's not like. Well, I think there are two parts to the question. Like being a member, as being a member, kind of like participant, or like is it more of a full time kind of thing? Because any time when people are like, oh, what if I wanted to be a full time magician, or like what if I want to work in a magic related company full time? My answer is always, now first, do you love magic and also like something else? Because like turning your interest into a job does not always end in the way that people expect. Because when you love something, when you do it, like it's like you're painting, you paint the stuff that you like to paint, you feel happy. But when it turns into a job, you're not always doing what you want to do. For example, if you're performing a show, you like to do 1, 2, 3 ABC tricks, but the venue might not allow you, or like they have other concerns that you have to perform the stuff in ways that you might not enjoy. So it's a fine point. Like when you turn into a job, you start to have like stress and pressure. So if you love magic and you also love something else, I highly recommend that you keep magic as a hobby, because that's probably going to keep your love for magic for a long time. But if you feel like other than magic, nothing makes you happy, like this is the thing that you want to do, you want to commit to it, and understanding that there are always two sides of the coin, then magic is for you. Because now, this is something that you want to do for life. You know it's going to make you happy, and you understand that there are the other side of the coin you also need to play with and overcome. Then this is for you. That's just an answer in general.
All right. That's awesome. So we see a lot of people they are very interested in coin magic. So let's have Lee to talk about how to be as good as you, like very smoothly, like Lee. Like, what do you think, Lee? How to perform coin
Z,
magic smoothly, like you?
Smoothly.
Right? Yeah. How to be as good
Um,
as you?
can we
I
put Z
think the
on the screen?
difference.
Yeah, he's on screen.
I think the difference between those smooth coin guys or card guys and not so smooth coin or card guys is they tend to not so smooth guys. They tend to have these pause or
Streaming.
these
You want to
tell
join the
signs.
conversation? You want to join? You want to say hi?
All right, let's welcome Herman.
Oh shit.
Herman
Oh.
will be hopping on in a bit.
Okay. He's putting some makeup on, so let's wait. So Lee, it's back to you, Lee.
It's streaming on YouTube. You can join Skype. Do you want to join Skype? Okay. 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 Sure. It's on YouTube.
Go. Yeah. So, uh, first thing you gotta do is to remove those telltale signs. For example, I'm trying to lap this card into my left hand. Then, if I actually lap it, then my left hand is most likely going to do this catching action, even if you are trying not to move your left hand. So what you gotta do is just from here, from your elbow to your fingertips, just put your maximum tension to it. So it's like, it's fixed there. So it's like a rock, it's like a table. And this principle, this thing applies to coin magic or any sleight of hand too. For example, you're just trying to do a series of moves, but you will have these pauses in between moves. How to remove that is just tension. Then you won't have anything. And when you get used to having these tensions, and after a while, you'll start to not have any telltale signs when you're doing moves. So then you can relax and do your things. Say something, anyone?
Oh, because
That's
like on
amazing.
the
That's
screen,
amazing.
I still see you moving.
Oh,
Yep,
All
because
right.
there's gonna be a delay.
Right. I'm gonna pick a question to answer. Keep like
All right.
Rich is now preparing a present for everybody in the room because we understand that it's a very tough time, and we wanted to make sure that in this tough time you have something to play with, have fun, and then just to keep you focused, practice, have fun. So we have prepared like a kind of like a package for you. It's all free for you to grab at the end of this quick conference. Um, so I am looking at the questions now. So the question was, uh, was I working on the Rosette before this started? Actually, the Rosette came out like right before, a couple days before the live filming for AGT, because my at this time my prop, the actual show that I prepared for did not arrive due to custom issues in state, so I had to come up with something on the spot. And Rosac, the presentation was the kind of story that I wanted to share with people. Um, it was my lifetime story, so I came up with the kind of like the routine, last minute, put it together, bang, Rosac.
Wow, that's amazing. Very inspiring.
So where should you start to learn car sleight of hand?
Huh?
Right.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where should you start to learn the car sleight of hand?
Right. Car sleight of hand. I think like back in the day, people would recommend books like Bernays, At the Card Table, and Marlowe, and all that stuff. But I think the easiest way to learn, because back in the days there was no video resources. I think the easiest way to learn car sleight is through video because you can pause, replay at a different angle. You know exactly like how the move would look like. Funny story, me and Gregory Wilson, many years ago, were talking about this. Like, he came up with so many moves out of accident because he was trying to learn a move out of a book because he was imagining something different, and through hard practice, he mastered the move just to find out that it was not the move. It becomes something original. So I mean, like in a way, it's a good thing. But if you are trying to learn basic card slides and stuff, I think video form is great. I believe we have a car project that, like at the time, like I was so proud of it because it's got all the basic car slides and the kind of modern subtleties we put in. What was the project, Jason? Was it called Pasteboard or was it called the?
Baseboard.
It was called
SansMinds
the,
Worker Series.
right. I highly recommend that thing because it's got all the basic car slides that you ever need to know from like zero to being magician.
Right. And then we also have another DVD called Foundation. It talk about all the basic slides about card tricks as well.
Right, the foundation has all the car slides. I believe it was
that's
like
right.
20, 30 different slides. And Pasteboard is actually our take on modern visual card magic. I remember that now. Like both projects, I was very proud.
Guys, please check them out. Yeah,
I
both
love that project.
amazing projects.
Is there any more ring boxes being made, please? Like, truth be told, like a lot of the stuff when I spend so much time designing and all that stuff, like I want the final product for my own show, but the truth is to go through proper manufacturing process, I cannot just make one. So usually I would available as a product, so we make thousands just so we can get the kind of quality that they, put out making thousands, like metal mold, plastic mold, and all that. But afterward, because it's actually a lot of work to, bring a product to the market, you have no idea. It's just for what we do, we don't always have the time to like re-put it on the market. But if enough people ask for it, that's something that we might do in the future. So I hope that answers your question.
And also, there's a fan that's asking, where is the best place to hide the Apple Watch, the remote, the control, besides under your arm?
I sometimes I put it in the pocket because actually I don't know if I want to show you this, but this so happened to be here. Now this is my personal design of a prop that if you guys are interested, I can explain. I don't care. But if I have this kind of remote device in my pocket, then like when I just lean down, when I'm doing my focus, making the magic happen, I would just naturally lay my hand over my pocket and just casually apply force. So without like pressing on it, I use my palm to like apply pressure on my pocket to trigger it. So that's actually my favorite way of using it.
Right, that's awesome.
Okay, the question is, if you've seen stuck, any advice on getting from an intermediate magician to advanced level in card magic? This is the Z question. He is the most advanced among us, like when we talked about sleight of hand.
That's right.
His hand is out of this world.
Out of her world. So, me talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your question.
So, if you're trying to get more advanced in card slides or in sleight of hand overall, then I would suggest you to practice, even if not everything, but most things in Biforces and Scene, because these stuff are extremely difficult and angle sensitive. So if you can master even one of those things, then you will have the confidence of conquering other harder slides, and most slides will look easy to you from then. And since you have mastered one of them, one of those extremely angle sensitive tricks, then you will also have the confidence to perform anything, like almost literally anything in front of real people, because I see a lot of people are afraid of angles, and most of the time the angles aren't that terrible for most tricks on the market. For example, sometimes a trick is like 180-degree angle, so only people from the front can see you performing without you flashing. But I see a lot of people asking for 360 angles because they imagine they get surrounded to perform their tricks. But if you perform in real world enough times, then you will know that 360 angle doesn't happen that often. And even if you're surrounded, then you can learn this trick I learned from Eric Jones. You can, as you perform, you can start with easy ones, and as you perform, you go back, back, back. So only thing behind your back is a wall. So it turns into 180 angle. Damn it, English.
I love it.
So yeah, by forces unseen, it trains you to, it gives you the confidence of practicing and performing harder slides, and it also teaches you how to manage your angles. So I think it's a great book if you're trying to advance from intermediate or wherever you are. And that is my answer.
Jason?
Yes, all right. Let's go back to the question list. How about that? I think one question it happens to every magician is there's some situations you have to put on the spot, but you don't have gimmick with you. What kind of magic do you guys do?
There's all like I don't want to say there's always things you can grab off the table or like gimmick. Like my advice, my honest to God advice is like think about these situations and really write down three things that you can do with anybody's object. Um, you know, but beyond that, I think as a magician, what makes a magician really happy or really like, you know, whatever you can do on the spot, borrowing something off the table, pocket change and all that, has a ceiling. Like like people have that expectation of what magicians can do. Like if you do a French drop, you vanish a coin, and that's what people expect of you. But if you are prepared and look seemingly impromptu, that's when it goes beyond belief, and you really screw with people's head because like what, like it's true impossibility because it's going outside of the scope that they believe you can do. So I highly recommend that you always have, like before I go out, um, like to like back in the days, I always think about what I want to do, and I grab three things with me that I can practice to put them together as a routine. So I thought about it for a couple minutes. Maybe I grab a pencil. Maybe there's a car or like whatever that I can string them. I already gone over the story in my head. So when the time is right, and somebody, it might not even happen on the day off, but when the time is right, when somebody says that, can you do something? I already have stuff that I know what I can do. I already have the story. So when I'm performing, I'm not thinking about my story. I am just delivering the best that I can. And if I have something, say, that's special, um, then I end up with a very strong souvenir to give away. And that's how I believe will help you, overcome these impromptu or like unexpected moments.
All right. All right. Also, here's another question from the fan. I think many of our fans want to submit some magic to our SansMinds. So they are wondering, how do we decide which trick to be picked from among the 100 tricks to be released from SansMinds? How do we, what are the, can we give them some guidelines? How do we pick the tricks?
Right. It depends on your personal interests. For me, like, actually, I can show you what I always have with me. Um, well, I so happen to want to replace my wallet. If you know this wallet that I designed for myself, now it looks like a perfect wallet, but at this point, it's like this because my dog chew on it. So I was gonna change it. But I always have this wallet with me at all time because there's, I don't know if like for people who know what the project is, there's a gazillion applications, and then it's a wallet for the minimalist that I use as my daily wallet, and then I always have stuff to set up, mentalism, um, slide head, magical things. I do it with borrow driver's license, borrow business card, money, and even playing cards. So this is what I always have. That's one of the things that I always carry without feeling like I'm carrying stuff, because it's just the stuff that I really do use as my daily wallet. And then this is the thing that I also like, whatever that's on my table, I carry them because it's just my daily stuff. And these are the Bitcoin that I have also shared with the community, the silver and the gold. And then we talk about why I carry them, because I believe, like, the whole inspiration why I wanted to make these coins for myself is half dollar. Now, when I perform with half dollar, which a lot of magicians do, it's just the perfect size and weight that we're so accustomed to. But when I perform with half dollars or local coin changes or whatnot, like, people don't know what half dollar is, and that's a problem. I can explain that it's a silver dollar, but who cares? So I wanted something relevant that people will recognize, and then I want the introduction of this coin to be already a magical thing. So a digital coin, Bitcoin, is the perfect topic, and now I can just introduce my phone, like, talk about like digital currencies, digital banking. So I show a picture of my bank account, or like how I carry my money, like what you're talking about. So I grab the coin out of the picture, and bang, that's the Bitcoin. Have you seen the Bitcoin? That's a great question to start. And you introduce a coin. Yes, it's interesting in the first place. And now I've made the Bitcoin specifically to the same weight and size of half dollars, so I never have to do any. I don't have to get used to new things. It's just like my daily stuff. Now, I think this is like a lot of people actually came to me and like, what do you do with local coins and stuff? First, local coins are pocket change. These are, how would I say, like, I travel a lot, and I don't want to be carrying like so many different styles and like a type of coin gap with me. So now I have a series of coin gaps with this Bitcoin. This is all that I work with, and I always start from borrowing somebody's phone or my phone to produce the digital coin from the digital world. Now I can get into anything, and at the end, I just borrowed it, do a French drop, just drop back into the phone, and now it goes back to the digital world. It's a good starting, it's a good opening and an ending, and whatever happens in between, I have complete freedom to. So the wallet, the Bitcoin are the two things that I always have on me.
Right.
And then sometimes I carry this because it's got the out to lunch thing, which I have my favorite way to give out, cards that to get people to call me, kind of like advertising. And then I don't have my back here, but I can show you a little bit. It's just a bunch of daily gaffs that I always update, depends on what I want to use. So I made this for myself, and as you can see, I still have a set of coins that I stick with. So this is a couple of things that I carry. Jason, what about you? Oh, by the way, there are some devices that I don't really share with people, like
Right.
like these things that I might talk about after. This is one of my favorite things. And then this thing, which is a different thing that I carry in my pocket, it's real legit lip balm, but they do different things. It's just very impromptu feeling, and I work with them all the time. And then I'm actually holding onto I'm actually holding onto a gimmick right now. I'm not sure if you can see it off camera, but I'm holding the gimmick right there. So that's also a gimmick that I use all the time. Uh, yeah. So Jason, what about you? What do you carry?
For me, I carry my phone most of the time, so I have a couple like phone tricks in my phone. Then do some sleight of hand, then do some mentally, so easy stuff. So I also do have like uh few tricks like on my mind. I can ready to perform anytime. So just random quick stuff. All right.
Leopold Novak, how can I get my free stuff? Oh, you're very excited. I think they're preparing because they're putting the packages together so you can get afterward. The worry come up. What is the free stuff? The free stuff is like a little package that we prepare for you with a few things you can work on at home in this crazy times. And stay home, please. I know like there's a lot of places where people are not allowed to go out anymore, but they still try to like buy a pack of cigarettes, like or something. But please don't do that. Keep yourself safe. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Because if you go out, come back, maybe you're young, maybe you're strong, but not all your family members, are as young and strong as you are. So that's why we do care about like how many friends have like email us and explain to us that uh, they have been very upset or like very unhappy at home, but financially it's been tight and everything. We understand that it's just a crazy time right now. So this mini package that we put together for you are materials from different directions, maybe a little bit of cards, a little bit of coins. Like I don't even know what to put it together, but it's information and techniques that you can work with at home. Just practice, have fun, prepare yourself for when the virus is over, go out and kill it.
So also, Will, what do you think? Because some people is wondering, how can magician make a living as a magic performer during this difficult time? Because now probably all the gigs, no one's doing that. So what do you think?
I think now it's like a very difficult time, like for everybody,
For
even
magic,
for
yes.
for all the performers, because all the venues are closed down. Like if you do live shows, if you sell tickets, if you do bar gig and everything, it's just not the right time because you don't have anywhere to work. Now, like there are always two phases in life. When you prepare and when you shine, and I think now is the time to prepare. To really calm down, think about where your direction is after the virus situation, and be prepared. When this virus is temporary, like it's gonna be over in time, and by the time when this is over, are you ready? And that is the question.
That's awesome.
Hi, Philip. I'm so sorry to hear about your grandpa. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he recovers speedily.
All right. Also, some fans are beginners, and they want to know how to be more confident when they perform magic. They don't feel the anxiety. Any tips for them?
Know your stuff. Know that it's not the end of the world, and they have no idea what you're about to do. Because I think a lot of magicians they get nervous about they get nervous because they're afraid of being caught, and then people are gonna be like catch them. But the truth is, nobody know what your ending is. Nobody know what you're going for. Nobody know that you're loading the car in your pocket, your wallet afterwards. So know that they don't know the ending. So even if something you're stuck in a phase where the ending can happen, which a lot of people believe that they fail, and sometimes I see magicians or young magicians apologize. I'm sorry, this didn't work. No, you don't have to do that because they don't know what you're doing. Just change the ending, jazz it. It's like music. Just be free. Like say if you palm a car, if you're supposed to know where the car is or know what the car is, and then they're supposed to put a car in the deck, and you fail to control it for whatever reason, the car really going to the deck. So instead of, oh, I lost the car, you know what? You know something? This is gonna be crazy. Like for the first time, what was your car? So you just openly ask for it because they don't know what you're doing. So even if they have the slightest doubt on why you're asking what the car is, but you go like, what was your car? And they tell you, and now you go through the cards. Now, as you're going through, you're looking for the car, and trust me, because they don't know what you're doing, and they don't spot the car as fast as you are. So as you're spreading, you can maybe say, look, among all these cards, and your car is one of them. So, like, if you know the calling technique, you already call the card, and if not, you just, say it's a three of diamond. You spread through, you find it like your card is among these cards. So when you turn back, you just break the deck, and then cut it. Now you have already controlled the card. So, like I would say, a magician never fails if you don't let it. If you don't tell people that you fail, you can always, just go for the ending. Whether if the ending is what was originally planned for, or if you just improvise it. And at worst, it's just not as good as what you originally planned for, but you will not fail. And know that you will not fail. You will not be nervous.
All right, that's awesome. And here, extension from that question: how to handle people who try to be the smart ass when you perform a trick? Because we always don't like this type of people when you're performing. So, any tips for handle them?
I think like for me, back in the early days, I worked on the street, I worked in the bar, I dealt with a lot of hecklers, and I think in general there are two ways to work with hecklers. The first is
Right.
to always agree with them at 1st. You're right, but
I totally agree.
you show it to somebody else, and if they like, if they're still being a heckler, being I don't want to use any root words, but just put him under the spotlight. All right, if you know this trick, okay, you do it. You hand it to them, and just watch them.
Right.
It's a very fun mentality, and like know that when you are a magician, you're in control of the situation, because there are people, or most of the people, if you're doing things right, they want to see what's happening next. So if he's being an asshole, people are gonna like use the peer pressure on him when he's trying to put you on the spot. So you put him on the spot, and then like if you can do it, you might have finished all your friends, But be light, be fun. Don't be like, if you point your fingers at someone, they will try to fight back. But if you are just being playful, but let him know that don't be, they will get your hint. Now, if they still don't, right, Jason, please.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because when I actually performing on the street, many times there's someone that gonna be like, I know the trick, I know how to do that. I never go against them because I want to keep the atmosphere very happy, very fun. So I always say, you are right. You are the most smart guy here. So we shake hands. We we would just be nice with them. We never go against them. I think that's the key point here. So never just against them. All right, so let's move to the next question. I think most people here, they not only want to perform magic, they also want to create magic as well. So what do you think? How do magicians create new methods? In general, how do magicians create magic? Maybe some guidelines
To
for them
create to
to start with.
create new
How to create
magic.
magic? Yes, how to create a new magic, maybe a new method.
I think like when you're creating, never think about the method. The method will come to you
Right.
if you just let it. So think about what you really want to achieve for the effect. Now, whatever effect that you wish for, don't think about like, oh, is this a magical method? Like, just go crazy. Like, this is a very scientific thing that for me, I just grab a piece of paper, write down the effect that I wanted to pursue with different possibilities. For example, like intuitively, this can be done in 5 ways. Then I would extend the idea tree. If I use this method, how would I proceed it? What's the possibility? What's the pros and cons? What's my problem? Do it like problem solving. So in each category, I would then have questions and answer for myself, whether if this is doable. And the more you write, as you proceed, you will find that there are things that's not doable, and then you just cross it out. And if you have 5, 6 directions to work with, you will always, I can guarantee you, you'll always end up with one way that will work. And if you're in the rare situation where nothing works, then you do everything again, start over. So that's my answer.
So now another question on top of that is, how do you build an act and come up with the concepts?
How do I
So
build an act? How do I come up with the
and come
concept?
up with the concepts? Yeah.
Like I said, like if you're not restricted to magic, like if you enjoy art, movie, music, if you're an artist, don't think about what you have seen other people do magic-wise. Think about what to do if you are a movie director, if you have no sense of magic, if you don't know what, you know, if you don't know what Elmsted count is, if you don't know what, like the ending or how a magic trick should look like, in your head, how should it look like? How should you, what do you really want to create? If this were to be like a movie scene, and if you put your skill up that way, you will end up with an answer that's unique to yourself.
Right. And also another question is that how long should my magic show be? So
Hi, Philip. Have a great day. How long should your magic show be? Like, what kind of material do you have?
yeah,
My answer is the more um, the more exciting, the better. So let's say if you have a 5 minute act, but only 3 minutes really excites people, trim away the 2 minutes. Just do the
right.
3 minutes. Trim all the fats out, and that's how you get people to remember you. And the rest is just, it doesn't mean anything.
All
Yes,
right.
just
So next question is how do I break into the industry? How do I get hired in magic?
how do you get hired in magic? By
Yeah,
have an act. You want
have
to,
an
for example, if you want to sell products, you have to have a product to sell. That's very important. A lot of magicians, they would just ask for a job like, oh, I do magic, and to most people, what does it mean? What kind of venue are you talking about? If you wanted to work in a comedy club, or kind of like a state, do you have a stage show? Now, if you don't work
right,
with stage, if you're working with a bar situation, now like most of the magicians would already know a lot of tricks. But do you have an act? For example, do you have to fix two sets of three tricks, A set and B set? The reason why I said you need at least two sets is because, say, if you do stuff for this table and you walk to the next table, are you going to do the same thing? Because they've probably seen all your stuff while you're performing over the table next to them. So you will, as a magician, we create surprises. You have zero surprise for them, and chances are they either do because they know what's coming. They have a very high chance of busting you. So I would highly recommend that if you're working in a bar restaurant situation, you already have two sets, and each set should consist of at least three tricks. And then maybe one or two extra things that you carry for the big moment surprises. You never know when the business is coming. If somebody is important, if a birthday girl, birthday guy is like, oh my God, it's my birthday, can you do something for me? What are you going to do for them? Think about this stuff, be ready, and if you have the answers all prepared, you're good to go.
all right. So we're gonna have one more question. Then Z is going to show us a incredible trick. He's actually gonna teach us how to perform this incredible car effect. All right. So one last question before that. So I'm 70 years old and just started to learn magic. What type of tricks would be easy to learn and perform comfortably? So for senior performer, what do you think is easy to learn, easy to perform magic trick? What do you recommend?
Is that a Z question?
No, for you, Will. Then after this question, we're gonna have V to perform and show us the trick and teach us how to perform.
Right. I think for people who are not into as heavy sleight of hand based effects, I think keeping things visual, it's always easy to grab people's attention and easy to digest and
Right.
even overcome like language barriers. So I think prop based visual effects will work beautifully, and we like SansMinds. It's a brand that focuses on bringing TV magic to life. So we have lots of visual stuff. The other direction is mentalism, easy mentalism, things that does not have a long pattern for people to digest. It's just very intuitive. You think of something, I guessed it. It's also a very good direction. You're not going for the heavy slide and stuff.
All right, now we're gonna pass the thing to Z. He's going to teach us.
Z, let's get the camera to Z, please. Z is gonna show
All
us
right,
something.
Z, it's your time. Your time, Z.
So before I show you guys a trick, I'm going to what's that word? Talk about. There's a fancier word about talk about, but talk about a question I got on the comment section. So tension, how do you put the tension? So let's say we are trying to do a transpose effect from this hand to this hand, magically, of course. So this is how I usually go. So let's say this is a coin or anything. The coin is here, and I'm trying to transfer it. I usually put all my attention to the vanishing hand and then move to this hand. So I say, for example, I will just do it for you. So cat over here. The thought process in this is I put all the tension here and then I move to my right hand, this hand, but I also move my eyes not directly from A to B, but slowly like this to create the illusion of something is happening. And I go back to the original hand to make them wonder what happened there. And as soon as I open my hand, oh, the thing vanished. And then I also slowly from here to here, and I open the hand, that gives them a result. It's a revelation that makes them, oh. So if that answers the question, if it doesn't, leave a comment. But here's a card trick. So this is something I rarely show to magicians because I didn't feel like other magicians doing it. I didn't want any magicians to do it. So, but this is only part of the trick, and I'm going to teach you later after the performance. So let me adjust the camera. Okay. So I need an audience or someone, whoever, say stop.
Stop.
Okay. You see the card. It's somewhere in the deck. And I'm going to show you a trick called Triumph. So as soon as I say that, you already know what's going to happen. All the cards are shuffled face up and down. I don't know if you can see it. And all I need to do from here is just, then all the cards will be face up other than your card. This is a quick Triumph thing I do. There's a other part because all the cards are like this at the end, but this is only part of the trick. You can guess what happens after this, but I'm not gonna tell you. So I'm just gonna call all these cards. So first thing you gotta do is let me explain to you the what makes it happen, because when you're spreading, all the face-up cards are spreading as doubles. Okay, all the cards are spreading as doubles. That happens because when cards are in this natural bent position, when you put them face up and down, they're going to be like this. And if you press hard, then they'll go like this. And when you release it for split seconds, they're not going to split. So like this, and when you release the tension after a split of moment, then they split. That's when you spread the deck. But that really relies on the condition of the deck. So I came up with a cruel method of making it surefire, which is breather crimping the whole deck. Face up, crimp, 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 crimp. 52 cards crimped. Then they are in this bent position almost forever. So these crimped cards, let me show you what I mean. They're like this. And if I press it and then I release it, watch when I release it, it stays together for a split second. So you have to get that timing right in order to have a nice spread, a nice spread of doubles. And the selection part, let's get into the real trick. The selection part, you have to make sure your spectator gets cards somewhere around here, somewhere near the top, 1/4 near the top. And when you're dribbling, you're actually looking at the deck and you're picking at the card. So when they say stop, you already looked the card, and then you turn around and let them see the card and then drop it. So you already know this is Jack of Hearts, and you roughly split 1/4 of the deck. And do a pharaoh. It has to be a perfect pharaoh, but you want to stick this face-up cards in the middle of the remaining deck, because if it's too near the bottom, then it will flash. If it's too near the top, it will flash too. From here, you're going to show your spectator that these cards are actually mixed. While you're doing that, you're going to look for their card, Jack of Hearts. And when you're putting your hand down, you're going to in-jog their selection using your ring finger, like this. So, whoop, choop. And this card is in this in-jog position. And from here, while you are squaring up the deck, you're using your thumb to push this card into this side jog-ish position. And you're going to use your left-hand thumb to cover it. Now, if you spread it, the whole deck will split in doubles except this card because it's side jogged, like this. And then you quickly adjust the card, then you're done. And something else happens to cover up these face-up cards, but I will leave it to your imagination. That's it for me.
Wow, that's amazing.
Lies.
All right, guys. So that's an amazing card trick from D. So we're gonna give you guys some more time for questions. So if you guys have any question for anyone, please just write them in the chat.
All right, because we're all in different corners of the world right now. Everybody, including us, like the four of us, five of us, we're all in different countries in this difficult time. So we have like time zone problems. We're gonna keep this short. As long as we know you guys are doing great, stay warm, stay healthy. I think the package is ready in a little bit. So at the end of the section, everybody gets a kind of like a stay healthy package just to help you guys have fun in this time. And then we're going to answer a few more questions. Then we'll, deliver the packages to you and hope everybody enjoyed the time at home, building relationships with families, spending time with girlfriends, parents, kids, whatever you may be. Enjoy.
All right. So one question is how to deal with the failed trick. So when you perform and you fail the trick, what do you do?
Like I said, if you don't let it fail, it will never fail because they don't know what to expect. They don't know like that your trick is not working. So always like practice this. Always think about, say, if you force a car, this car requires a force, but you fail to classic force the car, then they take the wrong car. What will you do? Now practice that because you can always go into a different direction. You always have one basic trick to fall onto. For example, if you're forcing car A but it ended up on car B, then there are two ways you can deal with it. You either swap it with before they take a look at the car. You swap it with the car you wanted to force, or you go ahead and go into another trick that doesn't require a forced car. And you always have that car as a kind of like a fail-safe landing place that you go. So that way you would never fail.
Right. And also for me, always prepare like uh, a backup plan if something uh, didn't work. Always have something, or maybe even a line, a funny line you can tell people when you fail the trick. Just make the situation a little bit better. So that's from me.
That's sweet. That's great advice from Jason. Yeah, any more questions?
Any more questions? We're gonna send a gift, and that's about it.
When will the Black Art project be available on download? I thought it's already available. I have no idea. Don't count on me because I just handle the fun stuff. The most visual coin trick. Now, Z has an amazing glow vanish when he first fucking, sorry, when he first showed me, it blew me away. Like, my mind was so shocked. Whenever I think about it, I still go like, not good to say it. And that's why, because I'm not as good as Z is. He can work with any coins, and then that's why we have developed this speed coin using the concept of my life story, Yuna, the coin of fate. This coin is extremely hard to make. It's slightly thinner than uh, what you expect. It's still heavy, which helps on a lot of aspects coin moves. And what's most important, it's made so specially. If you use your nail to go through the face, you will barely feel anything. It's just super smooth. That way, I don't even work with the move. I can do it, but like it's just very smooth for a person like me. I don't do much sleight of hand. I like comparing to Z. I'm like kindergarten coin magician, but it's just it makes it very easy. So I highly recommend um, this coin if you're working with visual coin effect and stuff. It's just very nice. It's also I think I also have like these are the stuff that I work with in my act. I also make $half size of the speed coin. It's the same, very close, same width and size of the $half. Uh, and then I now use these for my Rose Act because I can travel internationally and then it will work with all. Like I don't have to avoid any currencies. I can just use it, and it's got great stories to tell. These speed coin, highly recommend them. If you're working with visual coin magic, make sure you check them out.
All right. So here's one question for me. So, uh, how do you gather crowds and start doing stream magic? What do you say? So for me, when I perform on the street, I don't really want to get too many people because for us, when we filming magic, we only want like 2 to 3 people to watching. So if you want to gather a lot of people, so always start with someone small. So and some people say don't pick your audience, but for me, I like to pick my audience. I always want to go for the people who will get a bigger reactions. So I'll go for the people who are having a good time. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're talking, they have a good time. So when I go there, I talk to them, they are more likely to react back. So I always, the first thing I go there, I always compliment. Maybe I will say, I really like your jacket. Can I touch your jacket? Well, where do you get your jacket? It looks amazing. So I can go there and produce a SpongeBob. They'll be surprised, and without saying I'm a magician, I want to show something. They already know what is happening. So from there, I don't even pause. I just continue to do magic. I say, I do a quick retention vanish. I say, just blow my hand, and the SpongeBob is gone. I say, it's inside your pocket. Just take it out, and they reach inside the pocket. They reach inside their pocket, and I say that would be good though. Right? So start with something funny, compliment them, and get them excited. Always start from small, so keep people with you. One tip for gather big crowd is always hand stuff to the people on the street. So if they are holding your Sharpie, if they're holding a deck of cards, and they are not going anywhere because they are holding your stuff, right? So you can give them a Sharpie and say, just hold this for a second. I will get back to you very soon. So then you can talk to someone else, give them a deck of cards, and perform a card trick, and go back to the guy with the Sharpie, and get people excited. So people will be interested to see what is happening. So there'll be more people stop and they watch you perform magic. I hope that will help you. Right. So David Blaine. All right. So Will, here's one question for you. Who is your favorite magician?
My favorite magician, honestly, my favorite magician of all time. Like most of them are my friends. I love everybody, but one magician that leaves like this impression in my head was Lance Burton. When I first saw his act, um, it was so beautiful. He looked like vampire uh, beauty, and then like the gracefulness of his movement. And I think he's a great influence on my movement as well because I do things very slow. That was heavily inspired by Lance Burton's movement when he was on stage. Everything was delivered elegantly. So now when I do a lot of my material, it's the movement is quite slow because that's the kind of impression that I want to leave with my audience.
Right. All right. So one question maybe I can answer. Any ways to get people to see magic without the awkward thing of want to see a magic trick? For me, I like to compliment them. I say, I really like your T-shirts. It's amazing. Can I touch it? Then I produce SpongeBob. So that is my all-time favorite way to start a trick. Maybe also another tip from I think is David Stone. Like you can drop the wallet. Say, oh, this is your wallet. Then you open up the wallet. It's a fire wallet. So you see the fires coming out from the wallet. So they'll be amazed, and they already know who you are, and they will be happy to see some more tricks.
Now to add on Jason's idea, Jason's great because Jason's very strong on approaching people with a hard approach. A hard approach is he's approaching a cold crowd. So I think if you're doing it for friends and stuff, like these techniques would not apply for you just because they already know you or they you just got to know each other already. I think a softer approach that you can also try if you're not like dealing with complete strangers is to talk about stuff seriously. Like, oh, you maybe read it in a book or have you seen that on the news? That for example, if you take a coin, borrow a pen, like if you rub the coin like this, if you rub like anything metal, it gets warm. So they touch it, the coin gets warm, and then you pierce a pen through the coin, and now by the time he gets the idea that you're doing magic, you've already done it. And then that once they digest that information, you bring that smile on their face. They're like, aha, and then you can continue with the routine because you usually come with you either stop there or you have something else to show them. So like at that time they'll be like, do something else. They will be asking for it instead of you going for like, can I show you a trick? So I think can I show you a trick is a question. It's a very weak question because it puts you in a vulnerable place. It makes people feel like you want to show them a trick more than they want to see it. But if you just do it and get their curiosity going, now they want to see it. It's up to you whether if you want to do it. Now it puts you in a stronger position, and they will react better just because of how they are now asking for it. And I think that's a softer approach we can also try.
All right, that's awesome. I think a lot of people is talking about the godly car advantage. So I think in short, we are actually have a quick plan for an early stage of this vanish. In the future, we're gonna share that with you guys. So stay tuned with us. You guys will get the first uh, notification very soon about the godly car vanish.
Now a quick vote. Which deck looks better? It's just one of the personal thing I wanted to find out from you. These are my personal deck built for different reasons. Which one do you guys vote? Just a personal question to ask. Yes, I'm just holding the deck right now. So all right, it's the blue one's attack card. They are built for different reason and different purpose that I might show you, might explain in the future. But these are all built for a purpose, very useful stuff. All right. Any more questions? We're taking last two questions.
All right, so what do you guys think? So, any more questions, please, guys? Are you guys gonna release a SansMinds deck with a butterfly as a back design? I think that's a great idea. Maybe in the future we're gonna produce a deck with a butterfly at the back of it. I think that would be a beautiful, very nice, good-looking deck of cards. How to deal with hecklers? Yeah, always. I think we had this question before. Always agree with them, be nice to them, never go against them. I think that's the worst because for we, as a magician, we're entertainer. We want to build a fun, entertaining environment. We don't want to be very intense, right? So always agree with them. Say you are smart. You are very smart, sir. High five. I like you. You are the best. Then you just turn your head and perform to someone else and keep the atmosphere very fun and interesting.
Show us tricks. Show us tricks.
All right, so any more questions? We're going to send you guys the gift. That'll be the end
Last question.
for our
Last question.
handout.
DDS.
So according to the Blink promo, we're going to show that very soon. All right, right. So what's your favorite part today? How many hours a day do you suggest to practice? I think this really depends on yourself. Uh, it also depends on the tricks. For me, when I first started doing magic, I spend like I almost whenever I'm waiting, maybe if I'm on the bus, I'm waiting for something. I always have deck of cards in my hand, always practice. So totally up. Yeah, if you guys like, if there's more people supporting us, and we're going to have more handout in the future for sure. All right, so we're gonna take maybe one more question. That'll be end of it. So we're gonna send out the free package for you guys to try at home. All right, so I guess that'll be the time. So, Rich, are we ready to give our fans the gift? So, so that's the link, SansMinds.com product. So you guys can log into the link, and we're also gonna give them the coupon code as well, right? So you guys have the coupon code, right? So there's a code on the screen for this bundle for free. So the code is SMLIVE. So if you guys type that in when you check out, you'll be getting the whole package for free. So add that to chat, then go to checkout and put on this coupon code SMLIFE. So that will just gonna be for today. So you guys are very lucky, and please stay tuned with us in the future. We'll get a lot more handout like this, and we'll get a lot more new sneak peek for the future products. Also, some exciting news about our team, and also a lot more free gifts. So please stay tuned with us. So please take a screenshot of this code, use this code and also the link. So the code is on the screen. So SMLIVE. All right, guys. So make sure you guys have the coupon code ready and also the link. All right, so we're gonna type the code in the chat here as well. So it's gonna be SMLIVE. All right, so make sure you guys get a coupon code as well. All right, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, and it's has been a very good time. And so in the future, we'll get a lot more handout like this. So please stay tuned with us. All right, guys. So thank you so much for supporting, and I'll see you guys in the future. All right, guys. See you guys next time. Thank you.